everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nature Diaries. So today we're in East Devon and we decided that we'd come here looking for some reptiles. So if you want to check out another video that we did up here from when we went to Pebbled Heath and we found an adder, essentially we're over the road from there today and we're looking for adders, common lizards, anything that we can find that's reptilian would be a bonus. But the common that we're on today is called Aylesbeare. So let's go and see what we can find on this RSPB common. I hope I'm not telling you to suck eggs here, but if you don't know much about reptiles, then I'll just give you a little bit of an overview. So they're ectothermic. Now, commonly this is called cold-blooded, but they don't actually have cold blood. They just need an external source of heat to regulate their body temperature. So things like snakes, lizards, tortoises, anything that's reptilian will need an external source of heat. Therefore, that's why commons are really popular, because they're quite exposed, and in the summer they get really nice and hot. Now it's not even 12 o'clock yet and it's really warm, so we're hoping that we'll see lizard snakes basking in the sun, essentially warming up their body temperature. So we're walking fairly slowly down this path and we're looking all nooks and crannies under bushes in the shadows. We obviously don't want to disturb anything, we're just keeping a really good eye out, but also we're being really careful because obviously adders can bite and we don't want to anger an adder, we don't want to get bitten by an adder, so we're going to be very respectful as always, but we're just going to take a really nice slow stroll through the heathland and see if we can find anything, because we actually managed to find an adder last time we were in this area. So I'm really excited and really hope that I'll find you guys an adder that I can film for you.
Our quest today is reptiles, but because of the nature of heathlands, you probably see behind me now, there's lots of ever, lots of gorse and stuff like that, so we'll also be keeping an eye out for lots of butterfly species, probably see birds like stonechats as well, and also we'll just keep an eye out for some beetle species, maybe even stuff like tiger beetles. So fingers crossed we'll find something, but if not, it's a beautiful day, the sun is shining, and we just need to make sure we get a bit of shade ourselves while we're out here. Sun cream's on, the cap's on. It is a lush day. It's sort of one of them days where you could get caught out with the sun.
Just want to backtrack a little bit to what I said earlier, and I said about how adders can bite, and obviously they can, they're snakes, but only really if you really annoy them. So obviously don't try to pick them up, keep your dogs on leads, etc., because there's a lot of kind of anti-snake media in the news and things at the moment, and it's really not doing nature any favours. Now, it's all about respect at the end of the day. If you know to respect wildlife, then they'll respect you back. So for example, yesterday we were on Berry Head and we watched 5 separate boats harass dolphins in the space of an hour and a half. Now those dolphins don't deserve that, and snakes don't deserve to be disturbed either. So I don't want people to be afraid of snakes, I want people to respect snakes and appreciate that they need space like every wildlife animal does. So as long as we give them the space they need, behave responsibly around them, don't try to pick them up, don't stress them out, don't chase them, etc., then we'll have the best wildlife experiences.
So in the UK we actually have 3 species of snake, 3 native species. There are some escapees from the pet trade. There's also a population of an invasive species that has actually started breeding here. But today we're going to focus on the 3 native species. So despite us being surrounded by grass and heather and bracken and so on, we'll probably not see the UK's largest snake, which is the grass snake. So the grass snake, the name's a bit of a a bit of a fib really, because it is found in and around grasslands, but it does love water. So you'll often see it on bodies of water. It likes to consume small fish, but mainly amphibians, newts, frogs, and so on. It will take other prey as well. But that's a beautiful animal. And until around 2017, we actually were misclassifying the grass snake in the UK. We thought it was a subspecies, but actually it's been reclassified now as the barred grass snake, so that's good to have. The other snake we have is our smallest species of snake and our most rare species of snake, which is the smooth snake. Now we won't come across that today. There have been some limited sightings in Devon, but there's only a few hotspots in and around the country, and places like Dorset are probably your best bet. But the smooth snake does have a bit of an appetite for other reptiles, so it relies on an area where there's lots of reptiles. It will eat stuff like common lizards, juvenile adders, slow worms, and so on. But our only venomous snake is the adder, and that's the one we've got a really good chance of seeing. There are quite significant populations of adders in the UK. It probably is the snake you're most likely to see. Again, like Laura said, it's venomous, but it's quite harmless. But I suppose you could say all snakes are harmless, mind the pun. But actually, when it comes to venomous snakes, we hear venom. But in the UK, on record, there's only ever been 14 deaths from adders. Probably 14 too many, but the last one was actually in 1975. So you can see medicine's really evolved and advanced. And one of the biggest problems with adder bites is usually they're reactive. If someone's stepping onto a log where there might be an adder basking on the other side, or dog bites are fairly common because people let the dogs off a lead. And you've got a poor adder just waiting for its prey to ambush its prey, and then a dog might step on it or get too close, and obviously, you know, adders can be killed by dogs, so most bites are accidental. But this is our only venomous snake. We've got a good chance of seeing it because the weather's good. We're in the right location, but it is a snake less than a metre long. It's well camouflaged. We're surrounded by dried bracken, and its skin looks a bit like dried bracken, but we'll give it our best shot, and if not, like Laura said, we'll add the footage from last time when we found one. Just a little side note, we're facing one of the hottest summers on record, and the UK achieved temperatures over 40 degrees the other week, and we're in another amber heat warning from the Met Office. And this talks about hosepipe bans and droughts and stuff. But actually, if you look around, you can see how lush it is. All the trees are really green in the background. And I know this temperature's not ideal, and we know we're driving it with climate, but it just shows when nature's allowed to adapt, it does. But when you think of our gardens and commercial crops and so on, and how we manage the land, generally, you know, they're less drought resistant. There's less moisture in the ground, there's less cover. You know, if we're growing carrots in our garden, we just want carrots, there's nothing around it, we don't mulch properly, we don't do anything to stop evaporation. When here behind me we've got so many layers of greenery. Despite it being dry ground, there's moisture under there, and everything seems to be thriving. Now, as a long-term thing, it's probably a bad thing, this climate changing. I mean, we know it will impact us hard, and it is already impacting people in other countries. Just come across our first reptile just on this patch of ground here. These places are sort of needle in the haystack, so I always look for key areas of basking, and little patches of land like that with lots of cover around it are great for lizards. So we saw a little teeny, probably the size of my little finger, common lizard. It's really black, which suggests it's a juvenile. The sign gives that away as well. But these are a species of lizard that give birth to a live young as well. Laura's having a rummage for it now, and We might see it again. We'll try and catch it on camera, but if not, it's our first sighting, which is good. Hopefully we'll find some more. We've just heard that distinctive chat, which could only mean one thing. We've got a lovely little stone chat, which Laura's capturing there. So it's one of my favourite heathland bird species.
Just leading on from me talking about respecting wildlife and giving wildlife space. So a lot of the time on these heathlands you have grazing animals like cows, sheep, goats, horses, ponies. Now while they're not technically wild, they are living a wild existence and they deserve the same respect as any animal does. And we're just walking along, we saw about maybe 6 horses, ponies with a foal, and I could see an elderly lady with her arms wrapped around the foal's neck giving it a cuddle essentially, and her partner taking photos of her. This isn't okay. Like, I don't really understand the human need to have to touch things all the time. Why can't we just enjoy their presence? Now, the foal was very forthcoming. He was quite confident, quite inquisitive, and he came over to me when I was filming them and started to chew on my tripod. But I didn't touch him. I didn't feel the need to cuddle him or rub him or, you know, abuse his space in any way. He came to me. It was totally on his terms. So I guess what I'm just trying to get at really is it's really important that we realise that animals don't need us to touch them at all. They don't need us in their lives, really. And they certainly don't need us cuddling them and picking them up and all sorts. So just please, please, please respect wildlife and give them space. Give them the space that they need, and there's absolutely no need to be cuddling them for a selfie. Just a little bit of context where we are. So we're actually no longer on Aylesbeare Common. We ventured back onto the pebbled heath because we know there are adders here. So we found a common lizard, and it was really, really tiny. I wasn't able to film it, unfortunately, because it was so small, so quick, couldn't get the camera in time. But we have seen a reptile today, and I'm going to input an image of a common lizard now so that you know what they look like. And so now we're on Pebbled Heath, and we've been walking for some time because we're trying to work out where we found the adder last time, essentially. But we haven't been here for like 2, maybe 3 years, so it's been a bit of a mission, but we know where we are now, so fingers crossed we're gonna find you an adder.
I've had no joy with the adders. We've done over 10,000 steps now, which isn't anything unusual for us. I mean, we usually do much more, but with all this gear in all this sun, it's absolutely exhausting. So we're gonna go and find some shade and get a nice cold drink. Gutted we didn't see any. Laura just said it's probably too hot for the adders, and she's probably not wrong. You know, we've still got about a mile to go before we get back to the car, so we'll keep an eye out. But if not, enjoy the beauty we found last time we were here. And also check us out on Eventbrite. If you search Conservation Chat UK Limited on Eventbrite, you'll see details of all our upcoming events. So we do online events, but also some in-person events. So go and check them out. Cheers, guys.
Oh my god, it's so hot. So we're back at the car. Unfortunate, guys. I'm sorry, but we didn't find any adders, but we did find a common lizard, so the trip was successful, but unfortunately I wasn't able to film anything for you. But Obviously link the video to when we did find an adder, and I'll throw the images in this video as well, which you've probably already seen. We're definitely going to go to a shop now and get a cold drink and go and find some shade at home, and we've got an event later. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, you like the video, comment below, and we'll see you in the next one.